All right, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Old Saybrook Water Pollution Control Authority, January 11th, 2016, at 7 p.m., Town Hall, first floor conference room. George, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, I shall. Elsa Payne, Chairman, is absent.
She will be late.
Okay, late. Thank you. Ian Featherstone, Vice Chairman.
Present.
George Equis, Secretary, present. Chuck Worley.
Present.
John F. Claffey, Jr.
He called in, he can't make it.
All right, thank you. Jason Becker.
And Jason called in too.
Can't make it. Thank you. And Peter Stump.
Present.
Present. And then Robert Singer, alternate.
Present.
Present.
Yeah, you had to think about it.
Okay, roll call has been taken, Vice Chairman.
Okay, thank you. All right, with the absence tonight, Bob, you'll be seated.
Okay.
All right. I ask you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Agenda item 4, election of officers. Got a couple options here. Communicated with Elsa, she's content to, she would be happy to serve as chair. We could do that. We could also, I'm also willing to continue to serve as vice chair. I'm sure George would say the same. We can do it that way. We can put up other nominations, or we can take a motion to move this to the end of the meeting when Elsa will be here. Does anybody have a preference?
I vote that we continue with our slate of officers and as stands. Anybody have an alternate opinion?
Is that a motion or?
Would you like to make a motion to that effect?
Well, I thought we were discussing, but yes, I'll make a motion that we continue with the officers in 2016 as carried forward from 2015 as is.
Okay, is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay. Now, in your experience, before we continue any further, let me ask you a question. Before we vote on that, is there another, if somebody were to make a competing motion, is it now the time, or would now the time for me to take the vote on this one? I believe it's the time to take the vote on this one, or after discussion?
After discussion, and then if it carries by the majority, that's it. If it doesn't, then, you know, other people can jump in as part of the discussion. Other people can say, hey, wait a minute, I'm interested.
Okay. All right, well, I can speak for Elsa that she will accept that. I will accept the vice chair position. George, would you, if you'll accept the secretary? Okay. All right, any other, is there any discussion or comments on that at this point?
No, just that since you've had a conversation with Elsa, I think that's perfectly fine.
Yep.
All those in favor of continuing with the current slate of officers, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Thank you.
Those not here.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes from our last regular meeting of December 14th, 2015?
So made.
Second.
All right, any discussion or comments on the minutes? Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
right.
Opposed? Abstained? One abstention.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay. Great. All right, comments from chairman and members. Well, I have none at the moment. Members?
I
George?
have the following. Last week on Great Hammock Road, there were 2 surveyors with equipment parallel to Great Hammock Beach. And what I'm also bringing up is the fact that one of the property owners at Great Hammock Beach approached me concerned that what are they doing? Is there anything that might affect Great Hammock Beach itself? I didn't know about it. I couldn't give him an answer. I don't know if anybody on the board knows what these two surveyors were doing.
So they weren't walking on properties in Great Ham
They had those tripods standing on Great Hammock Road,
Road?
looking at the Great Hammock Beach and other property. Their vehicle, I couldn't even make out the name, it was so small, the name of their company in the back of their white van, because I had to watch the traffic when I was driving by. It was two men, so I just wanted to give him an answer.
I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
Not anything I know.
I'll just briefly mention it to the property owner.
Well, maybe you could ask staff to look into it.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea to find
surveyed
out.
over a year ago. Your property was surveyed by West O'Neill. Year and a half ago? Year ago?
Robbie, can you just ask Jim particularly, are we doing any surveying in
Yeah.
Great Hammock Beach?
Great, Howard. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Okay, any other comments from members? Okay, we'll move on to staff reports, financial.
Yeah, we've got a lot to wade through today, I'm sorry. The first item is the operating budget report for December. We're right on schedule. Everything looks very well relative to our budget.
Okay, and this would be for 6 months?
Yes.
Correct, yeah.
So we're at 61%
Remaining,
remaining.
right?
No, we have, yes.
Yes, no, that's correct.
Thank you. Yes, 61% remaining,
I was
so,
asking, was it 6 months?
right, yes.
Keep it as simple as possible for me. So we're okay.
We're very good. We're very okay.
Well, have we accomplished it less than we need to because we're at 61%?
Accomplished less.
Less construction, fewer contracts.
No, this is our operating budget, and
Okay,
it's not,
This is not considered,
this is not part of
It's
construction.
just the
Okay.
department
Okay.
operating budget.
This is
thank you.
all the paper that I give you, and the ink, and the pictures, and all of that.
But we can only have one meeting in December,
Ah, yes.
so those could have come in that are going to be deferred to tonight.
Yes, you have $203,000 worth of bills, so.
There you go.
There went 61%.
Yeah,
Well,
right out the
That's
window.
not part of this anyway, so it's all right. We're okay with it.
Oh, yeah, okay. Never mind.
Okay, all right. Would somebody like to make a motion to accept this operating budget report for, through the month of December 2015?
So made, dated January 5th, 2016.
Okay, thanks, Chuck. Second?
I'll second it.
Bob seconded that.
Faster.
It's just a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, all those in favor of accepting this operating budget, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay.
Next up is the Clean Water Fund summary. Through the end of December, through the end of November, I'm sorry. We have $1.6 million approved. As you can see, of that, 379,000 and change is our grant. Our loan total, which is a combination of both the town obligation and the resident obligation loan, stands at 1.2. And our accrued interest to date is $8,789.54. This represents, of the loans, we've used only 10.47% of the allocated funds to us, and the grant summary, 10.58%. So out of the 15 million and change, we have only spent 1.6 to date.
Okay.
If there are no questions about that, I want to move on. I sent out an email to you all regarding the annual salary review for Jim Finoli that Stephen and I talked about over the phone, and then he sent this note, and I've included in your packet. And so we would like to do this increase, and we would like a vote for the board, from the board approving it.
Okay, I had communicated with Elsa on this, that I thought I needed a little more information.
Okay.
It's substantial.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it's a 20% increase or more.
Yeah.
More.
And I'd just like to hear a lot more about it, frankly, so
Mhm.
maybe we can table this until Elsa comes in and then maybe
Okay,
take it from there.
it's fine.
Okay.
Very good.
Moving on. Invoices, non-construction. We have two invoices from Wright Pierce, one for November in the amount of $42,124.99, and one for December for $29,253.76. We have a CRAD invoice from December for $7,231.52. We have a bill from VIP Supply for equipment involved in community system soil testing and groundwater monitoring for $662. And finally, from Riggio's Garden Center for site evaluation supplies, hay and assorted grass seed, which is at a savings when it's hot in the winter, so it's being stockpiled, and that's for $549.50. The total non-construction invoices are $79,821.77.
Okay,
Make a motion that we approve non-construction invoices for Wright Peace, CRAD, VIP, and Riggio's totaling $79,821.77.
okay, thank you, George. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, okay, we've already explained to me what the Riggio's was, because I couldn't read it.
Yeah.
Oh.
That question too.
Sorry,
Thank you.
into shorthand.
Yeah,
No,
and that's,
It didn't come out, so what was it?
Oh, it's,
It was so light I couldn't even read
yeah,
it.
you couldn't read the little slip. It was
Oh,
handwritten, and it
it's-
was for grass seed, though, you said.
it's grass seed and it's straw.
Yeah.
And in some instances, we've been able to put it down because it's been so warm. But we also tend to stockpile it over the winter so that we can get right at it when it warms up again. Because they've been doing a lot of soil testing, and that's what this is for.
Okay.
My question is on Wright Pierce, how much of that total contract do these two invoices represent approximately? Where are we on that contract? I missed the last meeting, so.
Actually, I have that. Different piece of paper. The total contract for the amendment was $119,500 $551.67. And this represents a payment, the combined is a payment of $71,378.75. The remaining balance is $48,172.92.
Okay, and do you have any idea of how much work is left to be done by them? You still have to do
I do
a
not.
fair amount.
I do not.
And there's also, they're submitting the bills for the subcontractor to do the soil pounding analysis, things like that,
Yes,
which has not been done, at least wasn't as of
that is,
7.
their invoices include a line item for their subcontractors.
Okay.
And so it's,
Now, we have also paid them $138,000.
yes, you have, and $335.33.
And that is pretty much complete except for like less than $5 or something like that.
They are,
So the point is-
my understanding is that the original agreement is complete.
Yeah,
And this amendment number 1 that was approved was for the dollars that I gave you, and they have,
Good.
yeah, so my concern is we have paid them in excess of $200,000. We have maybe $48,000 remaining to them, and we really haven't seen.
Yeah, we talked about,
Doctor.
if I recall correctly, last time we talked that the draft report was being reviewed, being vetted.
this
And
is,
we did get an email from Jim Vanoli about that
Yes.
last Friday.
that is the status.
Pete, did you get this?
I did, I forgot what it said though.
Oh,
It
here,
basically
you
says
have,
the draft
you have a
report.
copy in your packet
I'm
that
sure
I
I
gave
did.
you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It just says the draft report is being prepared, it's been submitted to the DEP, but there's still some things that are not included, like
It's
the-
very rough.
It's very rough, and Jim did not feel it was ready for any sort of
It was
dissemination.
ready, it wasn't ready for us, but something was sent to Deep, to Dennis, because of the deadline
Right.
that Deep
Oh, yeah.
of December 31st. So there was an obligation to send them
Right.
what we had.
Right.
But Jim felt that it wasn't really enough to give to us. And, I just had a concern
Yeah.
that we have paid over, with this, it would be over 200,000.
When did this,
Good point.
when did this contract initiate?
May, June.
Yeah, weren't we supposed to see a report by the end of July?
That was,
Wasn't that the original goal?
yeah, but that was the first go around. I think that section is complete.
Yes.
Oh, that's all
This
done.
second
This-
thing that they're
That's right,
doing-
this is second phase,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, the first
Thank you
stage
for reminding
was,
me,
First
the
was
first
feasibility.
stage was what,
Okay,
was
Yes.
June 18th, 2015.
right,
Right. And that was feasibility, does it make sense to spend more money?
yeah.
So that's good. Now we're just waiting for this one. And, but that's a good point, Chuck. We've spent a fair amount of money, it's time to start seeing something in writing, so we need to, by the next meeting, I would think. So can you communicate that to Jim, that by the next meeting, we would like to see something?
It's, yes, I will.
Okay.
It's very much a deep issue at this point, and I do know that a request has been made to Deep for an extension to the 29th of February. And I at least have a verbal, and I emphasize the word verbal, that that extension will be granted, but I have nothing in writing.
But please convey at least my concern, I don't want to speak for the rest of the board, about how much we have expended,
Mhm.
the balance that remains, and we would really like to see something.
I totally understand.
Okay.
I agree.
Do-
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments on these invoices? for Wright Pierce, Crad, VIP Supply, and Regios. All those in favor of approving these invoices for payment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, thank you.
We have construction invoices for Meadowood 2. There are 5 properties for a total of $88,102.05. For Maple Avenue North 1, again, 5 properties, for a total of $35,388.50, for a total construction invoices of $123,490.55. There is, for Meadowood 2, there are 2
Repairs.
engineered lots remaining to be completed or are in the process of being completed as we speak. Maple Avenue North 1, I believe, I brought the wrong piece of paper. Actually, 3. There were 3 properties remaining
In one?
in Maple Avenue North 1. Meadowood Ingham Hill is complete. And Maple Avenue North 2 contract is scheduled to be signed by the installer this Friday.
Okay, so there's just 2 properties in Meadowood 2 remaining, and they're both engineered.
Yeah, and they're being
But they're being done.
They're being done now as
Okay.
we speak. We're not still waiting for plans.
Are Hartford Avenue and Middletown Avenue, are those repairs?
They have been done.
They're repairs, though, they're not part of Meadowood.
Those are emergencies.
They are emergencies,
Emergencies, okay, that's what I...
right, and they're done, but they
Yeah,
were
okay.
technically
Including this one.
added to the Meadowood contract.
Okay. Did we follow the procedure of allowing of offering those to the contractor to bid on and allowing the homeowner to accept it or not?
Yes, proposals were prepared by Jeff Rummel. I mean, he's the only installer that's working at this time. And they were, so formal proposals were presented to the homeowners. The homeowners signed off on those proposals and the work was done.
Oh, great. All right, in that case, can I have a motion to pay the construction invoices to JTR LLC for Meadowood 2 and Maple Avenue North 1 for a total amount of $123,490.55?
I'll make a motion that we pay the invoices for construction totaling $123,490.55.
George, is there a second?
Second.
Bob? Okay, any further discussion on these?
I only have a question. At 29 Hill Street, is that just an add-on for a previous building or the $20?
Oh, that was,
They had a very small system.
yeah, right.
We'll sign up for that one.
There was a special, there was a Christmas special,
Yes. Okay.
flowable fill.
Really? That's not even much flowable fill.
No, it isn't, but
But so this is a little additional.
It was an add-on.
Yeah, right, okay. I assumed that was the case, yeah. So, okay.
Bob's good question. It seems a little odd, and why Bill?
oh, I looked at it and went, excuse me, what is this for? Well, it's flowable fill.
Okay.
I had a question on Meadowood 2, 4 Deerfield Road and 41 Meadowood, are those engineered?
Yes.
And one was soil air, so is that an air system?
I'm assuming that's an
That was the full boat. That was the strip and fill, that was the pump system, and it was soil air. It's, you would understand the technology way more than mine, to me.
It's the Dave Potts.
It's a Dave Potts.
Yeah, yeah.
Add
It's,
to the soil.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep,
and-
so that's what the question was.
yeah, that's what that is.
I don't, has he done those before?
We've done a couple of
Has
them.
he?
Airs, I don't know.
Oh, also in
Yours.
Meadowwood, the emergency,
I know we've done several Dave Potts systems. I don't know of any other airs. Was yours air?
Yes, we did.
Air, George? Your
What
system?
system?
Yeah, isn't that air?
no, what's his face?
It's a
on
new
Deerfield.
concept.
Is it the geomatrix, or is it?
Do you have air going into it? Does it have a fan
Got
going into it?
I've got it, let me put one
That
thing
was
which we're
that,
trying to
and it-
discuss with him even now. If something goes wrong, the lights light up on my property, and that's what's happening now. I got a red light going,
They did it on
and
that.
Olmsted
Okay,
is
that's-
supposedly getting back to us to see.
Pump.
Yeah, that could be pumped
That
related.
could be pump related, but not necessarily air.
There was
It's not
there was another property
I know there was at least another property with air, yeah.
on Deerfield as well.
Okay.
To take Chuck's question one step further, the price of those systems, obviously, they're very high. Are they in line with what they quoted initially?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions on them?
If you're not aware, just to bring it all up to date, they left the existing septic, plumbing, and leaching field in the backyard to save money. It's still in the ground, empty, but they went in, and did everything in my small front yard with the lighting system and whatnot. And so far, the system is working.
Okay, if there's no further comment, all those in favor of approving the invoices for JTR LLC signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay. All right, at this point, Elsa, I will turn it over to you as you are re-elected as chairman for 2016.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
And we are up
Oh,
to,
thank you.
well, Rachel knows where we are, but we've just done the invoices.
Okay.
And I have put, yeah, I wanted to hold that. And
Okay.
This was brought up earlier, and I had emailed you about that, that was, I think we need a little more explanation as opposed to just that. That's a significant change in rate. So that's why we can either discuss it later or we can hold it for the next meeting.
I'm ready to discuss it now if you're ready.
Okay. Okay, do you have anything else from?
No,
So that's where you are.
that's where I am.
All right, so that's the last thing from Gracia then at this point.
Okay. So you have before you an annual salary review for Jim Bonelli. And the proposal is to raise the salary from $45 per hour to $55 per hour. Do I have a motion to approve this?
Were there any questions from any of the board members?
Or would you rather discuss it first?
I think I'd like to discuss it. I think Chuck kind of gave me a very definitive,
Yeah,
quick
I mean,
response.
it's a significant.
It's a significant increase, and
It is.
I think we need to know the reasons behind it, and because obviously it's very out of the ordinary.
Actually, it's considerably less than what he's worth and considerably less than what he deserves.
That's
What you need.
I'm after is some
Okay,
comparative or something.
From a dollar perspective, what you have to understand is that he is a contract employee, and he pays all his own taxes, and he receives, the only benefit that he receives from the town of Old Saybrook is some vacation days. He gets no medical, he gets no pension, he pays his withholding taxes, his Social Security, and whatever. So that of that $10 per hour increase from a financial perspective, it's probably worth 7, if it's worth that much. In it, Jim is
Go ahead.
Jim is a professional engineer. Stephen, Robbie, and myself have become extremely dependent on his experience in moving along and dealing with this community system option. As Stephen said, he is essential to the program implementation. I know that you may be more used to a site manager who is just that. Runs the crew, schedules the work. Jim does that. And then he does the engineering analysis.
Is that in the job description?
No.
That's
Yeah, we've
that's
got
an
a-
added benefit. Yeah.
No,
That's what-
no,
yeah.
probably not.
Yeah.
Because when he was initially hired, it was a quote-unquote replacement. And it has evolved over time.
Okay. What I'm after, just so I think we're mostly on the same page here, is I don't have a problem with it, except it needs to be justified. It needs to be justified with a job description. What has changed? These are things that he was originally hired to do, and these are things that he's now doing. Anything comparative would help if we had to hire a consultant to do what he's doing, things like that, would help to justify that. And that's why I was uncomfortable with it, just as we just like to increase
As a
it
rubber
from
stamp.
$10. I don't, it's lacking enough information to make an informed judgment. That's all. That's what I'm after.
Well, and also, he has been covering for Steve since he's been out.
Correct.
And
that's
And
is he getting
it's
any compensation for that?
no.
No.
How many hours?
You tell me.
He has received no compensation for essentially running this program for the last 2.5 months, other than what,
Well, he's getting paid.
Yes.
well, but he would be here.
He has additional responsibility.
And that's fine.
Yep.
I'd like to, that's what
And that will
I'd like to see.
continue. One of
Understood.
the things that Stephen said to me was that while Jim has stepped up to the plate and then some in Stephen's absence, that it's not going to, his new responsibilities or increased responsibilities are not going to diminish when Stephen returns. They will remain the same and possibly grow, and that is what Stephen said.
How many hours a week does he bill? Is it 40 hours a week?
Approximately 40.
Approximately.
Oh, and this is 100% eligible clean water funds.
Well, that's
Which is
my
not-
question. That's-
Which I understand is not the question, but that's,
No, but that's one point I'd like to make. Are we gonna run into trouble with his added duties not being eligible?
no.
Well,
No.
if we change his job description, it may.
That's a good point.
No, he's providing engineering services. And
Well-
that's what
Yeah,
would
but he
be,
wasn't hired to provide engineering services, was he? I mean, he wasn't.
No.
obviously, I mean, I understand your situation and your your perspective on this, and I realize that we should probably have come with more, but we are so used to working with him on a daily basis that we forget that other people do not. So we will,
Right, and
we
that's the
will
function.
provide you,
Right.
That's
we
our
will
function.
provide you with the appropriate
Coming from the-
rewritten site manager job description. And I frankly have no sense that there would be any problem whatsoever with approval from Dennis, because Dennis spends at least part of his time dealing with Jim, and depending on Jim as much as he spends time with Wright Pierce people, so.
I don't have any objection to making the change, but we have to
I
explain it.
understand.
Which means you have to explain it.
Yep.
So that's what I'm looking for.
And
Fair enough?
And I would ask also that it be vetted by a third party. I'm not sure who that is.
It's
Okay,
very,
so, yeah.
yes, it is somewhat problematic, and
So, and then
And-
also a forecast that, what this would do to the overall budget, if that could
It will-
become an
it will
issue.
not.
Yeah, we
That
probably
part I
won't see
can,
it.
that part I
Probably
can
won't see
address
it,
is
yeah,
not,
yeah,
it
yeah.
is not going to
Right.
affect the overall budget whatsoever, but Stephen is hoping to be here Wednesday for at least a small period of time, and I will come up with something for him to review and edit. It kind of fell on to my desk because I owned my own personnel agency, and it always sort of ends up on my desk. I will, how would you like to receive this new
I can weigh in on
job
that.
description? I mean, once it's completed, would you like me to have it emailed to you?
That would be fine. I would just like to see this is where we are. This is what Jim was hired for.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we are now tasking him with, and this is
No,
why we are looking to increase his compensation significantly. And then if we can provide any further documentation, or as Pete said, a third-party opinion on it, saying, yes, that would be a good rate to pay someone on a contract
Oh, well, you don't
basis.
want that, I can tell you right
Well,
now. I
but
mean,
that is justification.
well,
I-
I'll get it for you, but the answer
But-
will be that he is underpaid for what he's doing,
Maybe so.
significantly.
That's really wasn't the question. I just want to know that the new duties, the combined
Right.
duties, are within the scope of coverage by the grant. You know, I would not want to get into it.
I'll get-
That's really, that is more my concern.
If I will call Dennis and
Yeah.
ask Dennis to please review, and then drop me an email saying that this is,
Yeah.
would that be
And
sufficient?
That's fine for me.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no question of value in what he's contributed, none whatsoever.
Correct.
None whatsoever. We just need
No, I understand.
a rational, logical approach to saying we're going to change because the job has changed. There's nothing wrong with that. The job has changed, and we're going to change its compensation structure accordingly.
I have no problem with that. I recognize that we shortcutted it because we don't even have to think about it. It's just automatic for us. So it's a communication error on our part, and we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Okay, then. Guess we don't need-
So I hand those back?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else, Tricia?
No, I'm all set
Oh,
for a while.
okay. Coordinators update?
We have another emergency repair, it's 11 Cranton in Chocolate Beach, so they're working on that.
What's the address?
11 Cranton. So they've got the engineer going, Joe Lynn, they're working on that. We're soil testing Cornfield Point in earnest. Just about less than half of the voluntary soil tests have come back. So, that's a big area. It's 300 properties. They're about 46% back. And now they're just kind of staggering.
You mean the
voluntary.
okay.
Yeah, there's 1 and 2 at a time. So I don't know how much will get done. Okay, East Point apartment complex, they're probably going to come in at the next meeting. And I'll let you know exactly what it's going to be. Is it going to be on a presentation? Are they going to sit down, write, and start talking about the agreement? I don't know what the attorney, exactly what he wants to do. But as soon as I find out, I'll get you everything.
Are we going to have our attorney here as well?
I don't know if he needs to be here yet because he needs to just review everything. And, they're supposed to collect that check from them to start the review. So I need to find out, do we need Kurt here? Do we need to, begin like a workshop or, let's see. Remember the storm drain thing? We're developing a postcard to send out. It's only 38 properties. It's right down the spine of Hartford Avenue. So I've written the postcard up and the engineer's looking at it. Doug Rizzi, Kurt's, right hand there. When we get the postcard set, we'll send them out. It's only going to be 1 day's work, supposedly, just with the ground penetrating radar. Find the storm drains. Hopefully there won't be a lot of questions, And we tell the police, we tell Forest Selectmen, so we know we're going to be out there. Okay, so Maple Avenue North 3, we'll have the recommendation for the next meeting. Kurt will have that. And Maple Avenue North 4 was just approved by Dennis at the end of the day. So we'll determine when we're going. We'll talk to Jim tomorrow and determine when we're going out to bid.
Okay.
Next week or two. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there any old business? So new business, 2016-17 operating budget review. Seen that?
I sent this out to you. Obviously, the biggest change is in personnel, with Robbie rolling back to 30 hours a week. We added the 6 hours to the administrative assistant. We can't lose hours in the office. Normally, that line item would be an increase of 2.25%, which is the, this year's approved increase, authorized increase. It's up 0.4% due to all of that. There are no substantial changes in the expenses area. Some went up, some went down. We try and track the actuals along with trying to plan for some unusual expenses that we might anticipate that are on the pricey side, which is why we got you'll see an increase in the vehicle maintenance line item. But then our equipment and vehicle fuel line item, since the town is purchasing the contracts for both the diesel and the gasoline, combined with a couple years tracking of our usage, we were able to reduce that down. We always seem to have plenty left over, and that is essentially that. Now, you see at the bottom the employee benefits, and I highlighted them in green. Their projection for 2017 does not reflect changes in our personnel. And so if you look on the second page, where I've provided the breakout between what is paid by the town and what is paid by the clean water funds, down at the bottom, with Robbie going to 30 hours, she'll be on, you're going to be on your husband's plan, and increasing the 6 hours to administrative assistant puts the administrative assistant on the health plan. In this year, not in 2017 numbers because we didn't have them, but in the 2015-2016 numbers, a family plan is $25,378.24 cost to the town. And the administrative assistant, a single plan, is $9,007.51. So the reduction for the WPCA health insurance account is a hefty $16,000 and change. The numbers may change, but there's no reason to expect that the ratio between a single plan and a family plan would be significantly different year to year. So that the actual dollars may change, which is why I highlighted and noted that an adjustment needed to be made for the budget when they get it Friday, which is when it's due. They need to look at that and make that change so that we're not being charged for something that won't exist after July 1st. And that is essentially our budget. So the increase is 1.2% in total.
No new categories?
Nope. Same old, same old.
Motion to approve and forward this on to the town.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve this budget for forwarding to the town financial department for the 2016-17 fiscal year. And it's, you don't have a number on here, but it's a total proposed budget of $271,918, representing a 1.2% increase.
I shall second that.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, our next item is the Fussin O'Neill Amendment 17, which was sent to everybody for review.
I'll just make a motion to.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we authorize the Elsa Payne, the chair of the OSWPCA, to sign amendment number 17 for an agreement between the town of Old Saybrook and Fussin O'Neill. It is document number 4321132V1, related to the Cornfield Point cost of engineering to the town.
Do I have a second?
I shall second that.
Okay. Any questions from the board, or?
I couldn't read what was, looked to me like the only thing changed was the rate per parcel.
Actually, they didn't.
They just crossed
I
it out
don't
and said
know
number back in.
I don't know what,
Why it was redacted.
I don't know why. And clearly, somebody who went by it afterwards didn't understand why it was redacted, because I have the original of this page that came back with comments on it. I mean, there were no comments on this particular page, but it was the amendment as a whole that had been, did you check this date? And nothing had been redacted, and it was still 1,100 and 1,300. And for a minute there, I thought, okay, I'm just going to put that sheet in there because there's no change in the numbers, my sense of neatness. And then I said, wait a minute, somebody redacted this for some reason, realized that they weren't supposed to redact it, and hand-typed the 1,100 and 1,300. Those are the numbers that are standard. I can pull 16, 15, 14,
We
they're,
So it's no change in the price?
there is no
Same-
change in the
same as
price, but
previous
it's
one.
beyond me why,
That was my question, I just wanted to
yeah,
know
I have
what
no
what's that way?
idea.
was on here originally, so, okay, good, I'm good with that.
No, but it does state the area.
That's,
Yeah.
Anyone else have a comment or question?
I don't know, maybe it's nitpicking, but the motion is to have the chair sign it, but are we necessarily approving it?
Or by their signature, well, that's a good question. It's like we were- She can sign it, but
I'm gonna,
I shall amend my motion that we accept, the WPCA accepts this Amendment 17 and authorizes the chair to sign it.
There you go.
Thank you.
Chuck.
I'll second it.
okay. All right, anything else?
No.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Elsa, this is the official
Original?
you.
Okay. We'll now open it up for any public comments.
I just have a question for you. I asked last time, and I also asked Gracious for finance meeting. I'd still like to know why that $4,500 for landscaping was paid out of the 210 account. Who authorized it, and why were they an exception to everybody else that was cut off at the 30-day limit? I assume the answer's still what they actually gave me, and until Steve gets back, we won't know. But I think that's something you should be concerned about as well as I am.
Okay, well, I guess we need Steve to come back to answer that, or
Yeah,
we should, okay.
He'll be
Yeah.
back. He'll be
All right,
back
bear with
Wednesday.
us, we'll get you an answer.
Okay. I haven't forgotten.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to address the board? Okay, thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion that we adjourn our meeting at 7:53 PM.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.